We're just
I
kicking things off here, so it's no problem. Yeah, so yeah, you guys are both in Madrid. You're gonna have to meet up sometime, Laura and
oh,
Clara.
oh, yes, I didn't. At the I could check all members of this group,
Yeah.
and I'm discovering every connection. There is more people in Madrid than I was expecting. So of course, but I will try to reach you through LinkedIn and just see, uh, and we can connect and talk about. Maybe we have. I think we can coincide in several spaces that probably we have more in common that we know. But
Yes, for
yeah.
sure. All right, well, as we kick things off here officially, Laura, do you want to go ahead and reintroduce yourself and B Lab for the anybody who watches later?
Yes, of course. I'm as part of the BLAB team in Spain. We are part of a global movement, B Corp movement. We represent the B in of the uh, it's not just as companies who have this certification. It's also about people who feels represented, but by a movement that wants to change the economy and also of course the change we were talking about before about the change we need and how to change the things, and we believe that through the companies we can change this because companies has contact with several parties, so that's
Yeah.
why we encourage and we represent this movement, and specifically in Spain we have 10 years of history. Our movement growth a lot. At this point, we are more than 300 companies, B Corps in Spain, representing different industries, sizes, products, services, and we also have the B locals, that are people who join the movement coming from B Corps, uh, social or environmental entities, people who feels represented also by the movement. And they all are, join these big locals. And we have one in Valencia. We were working really close with them. In fact, they were in this, during Dana, they were able, of course, as local people, they were helping in first line, but they use the movement to try to get help and to send us information to Spain, to the world, and try to get this help. This team, B Corps are in different industry, but I think it was a kind of lucky that one of those B Corps are fighting against food waste, and they have contact with those entities, social entities who help. And so they were in first line, trying to um, redirect all help that we received. As you know, the Dana affect to many locations in the south of the Valencia city. It was not in Valencia city, it was in the south, in the, I think it was like 15 kilometers from Valencia city. Small towns that were probably not ready to manage all this water in short time. And I think they were like 2 weeks um, uh, with no communications. The help arrives really late,
Yeah.
and they were available 24/7, um, receiving every single truck, car, or all towns in Spain were sending help.
Hmm.
Every school collect, in every phase of the uh, this climate accident. At the beginning was cleaning, then was food, water, and in each phase the needs were changing, and every single people in Spain were collecting and sending this help, but without coordination. that brings more chaos because it, you know, maybe in, it was like 100 kilometers to arrive. It was in
Yeah.
4 or 5 or 6 hours because of the traffic and the access, even the rain and the ways weren't practical, and then the trucks have to come back, and they don't have a place to download the what they have to to bring and to donate, and it was a chaos for 2 weeks that brings emotional, physical, uh, it's a big impact. I think it would take lots of time to recover from this. Probably it won't be the same. Hopefully it won't be the same. Um, at this point, we are trying to move forward,
Mhm.
trying to help um, to recover the economy of these small towns. As you know, it's a small businesses. Those families who they lost everything, even people, houses, cars, business. So they moving forward. There's a lot of people that are helping them, but we're still dealing with nobody, as responsible or coordination, and probably this it affects to the capacity of making things faster or coordinated or so we are focusing on this, trying to support these small businesses to recover because it's part of the local economy and circular economy and everything we believe that have to be developed for this future we need. And I think that as a movement, uh, we know that it's not time to say climate change is here. It's not time to say that, but the truth is that something we were fighting for a long time, and everybody knows, and we have to be, every single year this will be more common, and I think we have to be ready. So we are at this point focused on helping business to recover, and then trying to see how can we adapt and how to change, and also I think this will bring a lot of social injustice. So we are also trying to help and provide those people to bring them to equal
Yeah.
and inclusion politicals and everything.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
that's us. And I really want to say thank you again for you for being so sensitive, for be there and trying to help and providing with the tools and this channel. And hopefully this is the beginning of a group of people trying to change things together.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope so too. Thank you for the introduction and all you're doing at the B Lab Spain team. It's exciting to see that the movement is growing and organizing and yeah, thank you for all of that. Clara, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and your organization?
Yes, of course. Hello. I'm Clara and I'm working for Sarape Social, who is a impact consultancy, and we work for other foundations or for other companies or institutions on social, cultural, and environment programs.
Mhm.
Uh, we work with them in to support all our clients in all the degrees from defining purposes or and objectives, and we help them with communication, with evaluation of programs. We can create some projects for them, or we help them with fundraising of all the
Yeah.
circle state. Yes,
Perfect.
and yes, and we have our place here in Madrid, and we have another another place in Mexico,
Mhm.
and in Guatemala. Yes, we have three, three places where we work. And I don't know. I'm here because the last month with Dana in Valencia, we were working with a foundation who is Coloring the World Foundation, is one of our clients, and we are friends too.
Yeah.
And they were we get some goods for to send to Valencia, like face masks and hygienic products, or some boots and some material. And we needed a truck, and we were here to ask for a truck. And you help us very much. I wanted to say thank you to Maxime, who was trying a lot to get a truck. And finally it couldn't be, but it's okay because we are very happy, because I appreciate his efforts to help us. Finally, I want to share that we finally got another truck.
Great.
And yes, it wasn't a mechanical truck, so we could take all the boxes and put in the truck, so it was easier for the team.
Yeah.
And yes, the truck uh, went to Valencia, and happy ending
Uh,
of the story. But thank you very much, because
Yeah.
I know that Maxim was very implicated, and he was trying a lot to have the track. So thank you.
Perfect. And so who did your aid get distributed to? I think you were maybe talking to schools, or was it another nonprofit organization, or who ended up receiving your aid?
Yes, it was face masks and hygienic products. So we send them to the ayuntamiento, mm,
Council,
majory, I
the,
don't
coun-
know.
the
Yes,
sorry, yeah, the council.
yeah, to the council, and they distribute it to the little villages. So it was easier. Yes, but we have another initiative, no? And we send material for schools too. Yes, but
Awesome.
for that we didn't need a truck, because we send the money, and the school bought all the material that they needed. But the truck, it was for mainly for hygienic products and facial masks, and we send it to the mayor. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry for my English. I'm trying my
No,
best.
no explanation. No, you're doing great. Thank you. And thank you for
Thank
all
you.
of the terrific work that Sarabe has been doing. And it's very, of course, in line with your culture, since you are a social and environmental consultancy for companies. So, it's just another demonstration of your value. So, thank you so much for participating in that. Nuria, you were able to meet with Justo of Translog Logistics back in December. I'm curious if you talked about Valencia, or just kind of the transportation around Spain, or what you learned from that conversation.
Well, I had the opportunity to meet with Justo in January 3rd in Madrid. So I was very, very lucky because during those days everyone is on holiday. But Justo is the founder and CEO from Translog Overseas in Spain, which is a transportation and logistics company. So they work 24/7 every day of the year. We know that. And well, one of the things that we've been discussing is what are their capabilities and the support they are providing to the affected areas, and they have available a warehouse in one of the well, nearby the affected areas, and that warehouse, fortunately, it hasn't been impacted, so it's well, they are offering that warehouse in case that well, anyone needs somewhere to store all the donations and things like that. So that was the main thing
Yeah,
of that.
that's a big deal. Having warehouse space anywhere near affected areas is
Mhm.
incredibly a great value. And Laura was talking about aid had been flooding in, but as we know, sometimes there's just no place to put it. So that's an awesome ask from him. So Laura, if you need to be connected to Justo, then just let Nuria know, and we're happy to do that.
Mm.
Um, and then Nuria, I know conversations had slowed down because of the holidays, but just wondering if you have updates from anybody else that you were talking to behind the scenes.
No, no, not really. I was just chatting these days with Clara precisely. We've exchanged a few emails just because I know that before the holidays, they were just in connection with Max, and they were just trying to sort out the all the donations they had to move it to Valencia. But the issue there was that all the donations were boxed,
Yeah,
but they weren't palletized,
yeah,
and they needed, since they, well, trucks, transportation trucks, they have their own
regulations.
regulations and things like that, so they need to be palletized. So in the end, they finally, I'm really glad that they found a Coloring Foundation. They are amazing, and they managed to move all the things to the people that needs. And that was it pretty much. I wanted to ask Laura, because since you are the one who seems to be more in contact with the people there in Valencia, how far did you see the small businesses and well, the towns, the affected areas, how far do you see them from being recovered, or at least to have a decent uh, quality
Yeah, or
of
even back up and operating because
yeah.
after cleaning up and things like that.
Exactly, it's been a few months, but I'm, since we are not there, I'm just curious about how far are they from having like a decent uh, quality of life or a routine.
Mm. Yes, as far as I know, I have, to the local community and also to some friends who live in affected areas.
Mhm.
I'm trying to also, it's not easy if you're not there. And I think there is different realities, as always. There is people who has uh, probably who's able to find solutions. There is not there is a lot of helps arriving. Um, I think the council, the small councils in every town are responding.
Okay.
Probably this will affect the budget, and I think in the meantime they need, or we as a country and as a central government, we need to solve how is, how quick they can react, how quick helps will arrive,
Mhm.
and in the meantime, who will survive at the end? Because we're not talking just about having a house to live in. We're talking about if your economy depends on your small business and you cannot open and you cannot afford or maybe a credit or something like that. So at this point, I don't have the full picture. I don't know. My perception is that um, there is too many things happening around the world, and every single week we have something to look at. like fires, like rains or hurricanes or uh, conflicts or whatever. Um, there is some local foundations or local non-profit that are helping. And as we said in the conversation, is at the end is people save people,
Yeah.
people saving people.
Mhm.
So there is not a unified and official response. So there is heterogeneous solutions. That's why we start talking, well, it's not easy also to say, okay, now we move forward to next stage. But the end of November, beginning, no, I think it was mid-December, we realized that there was a lot of uh, storage there to donate. It was enough cleaning stuff. It was enough
Okay.
clothes stuff, even food. We were talking together with we were working together with the food bank, and everything looks like was covered. And we decided together with the local people to move forward to how we are going to work in the economy regeneration. And we noted that it won't be easy to find a way to let them, get this help because it's not easy, to if you donate to a big entity, procedures take long and it's not easy. So that's why we together with the Triodos Foundation, which is part of Triodos Bank, they are a B Corp too.
Mhm.
They also had a campaign, a much funding campaign in the first phase. They collect um, money to donate to food bank and I'm not gonna say the entities because I'm not sure which entities, but through these entities they help people in these entities who were working in first line, and then they were there together with the local offices. They realized that it was because of the rain, the flood was in the basements and in the grounds.
Mhm.
The 100% of affected were small businesses, and we talked together about how to how can we help them. It also has the same, it had sense because we believe that the change will come through the companies. They have the power to change economy to move to a regenerative, inclusive, and justice economy. So we say, okay, let's do that. And we start analyze when we start analyzing what were the barriers. It was quite different. Some we talked with uh, optical shop. The only thing they need to reopen was a door. Well, a door and more things, but a door was the first barrier. That's why they removed everything. So we thought about okay, let's if we start a campaign and if we start raising money, we can then make this much funding. We can send them, we can invite them to apply for these funds, and these funds will be just the thing they need. If you need a door, we will give you the money for the door, and we try to do it quickly because every month they close this amount that they cannot they don't have the salaries. So at the end, I think that today uh, everybody is trying to find their own solutions. Unfortunately, there is people affected, businesses affected. Valencia had a big industry areas. So what they ask is to try to be aware that they need to, customers trusting and waiting. We're talking with a furniture uh, um, um, industry company, and they receive lots of cancellations because of, they have a delay in delivery, and they say, okay, today more than ever, we need you wait and you trust and you invest
Yeah.
Just
to
for
recover.
just for context, how many? Okay, there have been thousands of small businesses affected, but how many of those are you helping out? Do you have like a number or something like that?
So what we have now, this is something we're learning because we're not the specialists in
Right.
fundraising or
Yeah.
how it works, and that's why we are working together with Triodos Foundation. The first thing you have to do is to raise these funds, and when you know how many funds you have, you can open and you can know your capability to help.
Yeah.
If we do the two things the same time, and
Mhm.
we're not able to, we have to know how many funds we have and how many,
Yeah.
because this is information you have to provide, and then you have to be able to show transparency and to all process. So we know that, as I said before, helps are coming from different um, directions. The central government has sending, but it takes longer, and at this point, nobody get any money yet. The insurance is also another way to get support, but it's taking longer. But some of them are starting. Then we're talking about the um, uh, local governments in all towns, ayuntamientos. Sorry, I just forgot the
The
name.
councils,
The
the council.
councils are making big efforts and taking money from funds. I don't know why it's going, they're trusting that some point they will get it back or whatever. And small entities are helping in especially in neighborhoods. So it's kind of, people is saving people, so they're helping each other.
Mhm.
There is, I think this is what I'm saying before about we don't have nothing is managing by the centralized, and this centralized less organization doesn't allow us to know the number of families and small businesses that are needing help. But I think in at this point they have been, this is one of the problems they're facing. The other one is the cleaning
Yeah.
works. Of course, it would take longer because it's not, first cleaning the mud is still there.
That's
The
one
other
of the
day I
things
went,
I was going to ask if there was still having to be a big cleanup effort underway, or if a lot of that in the last few months had been moved out, but it sounds like there is still a lot of cleanup to do.
yes, especially because we are now in this area, we are in
Okay.
rain season. It's not too many rain, but it's winter and it rains. I think we in March is, I don't know, Clara, if you can, it's in March when they have the gota fria. Gota fria is another big rain in this area. I think it's March.
I'm not sure. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
I don't know, but the thing is, I think that they can operate. I mean, people can circulate in the city, but they still living together with the mud. There is lot of cars and there in every town. This is a mess. There is piles of cars that have to be removed.
Photos.
Uh, so what I heard and the picture I have in my head after talking with too many parts is that they adapt to the landscape.
Yeah.
Landscape is mud, cars, open houses because the rain, the flood was devastation. Some schools didn't open yet. They move it, and so every single town has adapted to the situation. And some families are having resources to find another place to live. A lot of families are living with the humidity, which is now the big problem for those families who can afford.
Okay.
Um, but I think it would take more than 1 year to approach to a similar landscape.
And what is
Uh,
infrastructure like right now? For in the beginning, of course, a lot of the roads were washed away. People couldn't even get aid in. Has a lot of the infrastructure been at least pieced together so more aid can get in, or is it still an issue too?
I think it's not an issue anymore.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that everything is 100% working properly, but they had ways to connect uh, one city from others. I think there is, they were close to a river, so there is some, connections or bridges that are not practical anymore. But they can now arriving or connections to these places is not an issue.
Okay.
But of course, there is a lot of roads who have to be manned and probably but at this point is they not they able to connect. But if we talk about infrastructure, probably that will be maybe third or fourth phase, to coordinate and it is it is the time we have to respond to this recovery. Is a long term recovery. Is not something that they can fix in 1 month or two.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, obviously you're both in Madrid, so you're a little bit removed from the issue. But I wondered if either one of you could speak to, for anybody listening later or for the conversations we have with others after the call, what would you kind of see are the biggest needs right now? Is it warehouse? Is it masks? Is it still cleaning supplies? Or is it food or clothes or anything like that? I'm curious if you have any opinions on that.
Um, as I said before, there is um, after talking with too many entities, especially those who are storaging, and the other problem was how to manage this is because you can have a warehouse, but if there is not people to classify, and you have a problem too. So at this point, they're stop asking for receiving this kind of help because there is enough, and I think the needs now it's it's money because money will help to adapt the specific needs of every different families, small businesses, and all people who was affected. Um, we are in winter. I think we make a blanket collection, and we have um, also furniture collection because those families who have to come back to live in a house that everything was wet and everything was now is empty houses. They also having that, but it's not easy. The way that the logistic is still being a problem, and it's not easy to talk with 20 towns and coordinate what their specific needs. So what we think it's better to talk with those entities who are and responding to because they that's the people who's there. We can see daily. And at this point, it's furniture and how of course there is a lot of construction work to do because a lot of people cannot back to their houses because it's not safe. And they are living in families or renting or having help to rent a house or but I think for those who came back home, furniture and and everything you need in a house. But I think the best way is money because sending trucks or sending ships with full of furniture, it takes longer, and that is not easy to arrive to the specific families or houses. And I think is more efficient the money. I think it's not easy, and it's not easy to trust and where to send it if it will arrive on time, and that's the trickiest part I think here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Clara wondered if you had any thoughts as well.
No, thank you very much because we have sent all the things and we send it another goods, yes, for schools. And actually, we have not more donations, so we don't need to send anything for the moment. And I don't know. I will talk with Juan and with the rest of the team, because if we can do something to keep helping, it's okay. We are working with Foundation Voces. I don't know if you know about this foundation. And just today we have received an inform from a school in Aldaya, where they send us some photos and some certificates, and they I can see where, because we send them some money to buy some wardrobes for the school, and books and material like pencils and books and everything. And they have sent us the photos to we can see that everything is there and everything is okay and all right. So that's the last notice that I have about helping with La Dana. I don't know if we have more donations, I will tell you. If we can help with everything, we are here. Yes.
I would try to do a mapping. I would talk with the contacts we have there, with all this, this Be Locals team, and also with the people I know in these affected areas. I would try to do a mapping,
Mhm.
at least 3 or 4 foundations that are working. I know one is Olvidados. I know
Yes.
them pretty well, and I know they go in every week with their
Yes.
own truck, and they go to a family house, and they bring all the furniture, all they need, and they doing. That is one of those, but I can try to do a mapping, and I will let you know. So because yes.
Yes, sorry, but just next week we have a meeting with Coloring the World Foundation, and I know they had fundraising a lot of money to do some donations, and I know that they were sending all the material for schools and art studios, because it's an art foundation, and I will ask them if they have more money or more things than they can donate, and we keep looking.
No,
Yeah,
and we were talking about to sending money because it's better to spend that money in local companies, like if we have to buy beds, it's better to buy those beds in
Mhm.
the in this fabrics that are from Valencia. But it's true that it's not easy, and sometimes we don't have the time enough to to make the to make the connection that everything is that the money arrives to the people who needs. But I will try to do this mapping, and I will send it through the WhatsApp, so you can add
Great.
it to the sheet you had for sharing this
Perfect.
information.
that's
Perfect.
awesome. Thank you. Um,
Clara, sorry if I missed that, but you mentioned that you had another pack of donations ready to send to Valencia.
No, not now.
we already,
Yes, we had the transportation for them.
Yeah,
We
well,
don't have now
uh,
anything.
okay. No, that's fine.
Sorry.
That's that's
Yes.
But
fine.
you have people who is asking how can they help, or are you receiving?
Yes, because in Sarape Social we have some 2 persons which are working from Valencia. They are working there. They have helped us to, I don't know, to find the places and to staying in the major, helping with food and with these things. So now they are working in Sarape. I don't know if personal individually meant no, like persons, they are still working. I know that in the first weeks, in the first month, uh, both were helping a lot in that places. And we have the contact with a storage in Catarroja, and it's a big storage, and we could we could put all the things, all the donations there to wait till they can distribute all the donations for Cata Roja.
Okay.
The contacts that we have there in Bali.
Perfect.
And you, Nuria or Christy, it is there is people asking you or companies asking you how can they help or just I think at this point, unfortunately, people start to forget because we move forward to different problems. But I was wondering if there is people who still asking how can they help or.
I think in my experience, and Nuria, you tell me if yours is different. I think for kind of two things. One, we saw conversations just generally die down because of the holidays and kind of the distractions that come with that. And of course, a lot of our partners and contacts are here in the US, so they have pivoted also to helping the California wildfires and things like that. But we always try and just keep in touch with people globally to see who we can connect and make connections with, make introductions to, see who has what to give. So we will certainly continue that into the future as well. So that's something we're always aware of. And of course, Nuria being from Spain has connection there too.
Yeah, and also I think that well, for me it's well kind of the same feedback, but I have a reflection, and that is that well, natural disasters, whether it's the wildfires that recently happened in LA, that I was reading this morning in the news, and there is a new fire going, and or the floods in Spain, they just remind us that climate change is not longer a threat. It's happening now. So, and I think that one of the uh, most important things that we need to understand is to switch our mindset and understand the role that businesses and communities and governments and we are all playing to mitigate that. And we are seeing that in Valencia, we are seeing that in Los Angeles. So how people is coming together to help out each other, because with governments is not enough. It's just not enough, and the help doesn't arrive on time and when it really needs. So well, that was my reflection.
Well, we talk about justice to social justice because I think that climate disasters are occurring since many years ago until now.
Mm.
It climate disaster doesn't, you know, uh, they don't understand about social classes. They can affect too, and it's true. And I'm not. I please don't take this like, nobody deserves to be affected by that climate disaster, but probably the capability to that people from LA have to recover from this is different from people who is even in India, South Africa, China, maybe. And when it happens in the first world and then and developed economies, it's the only way we have to see that we are facing and it's close and it's here and it doesn't matter if you have a big house or a small house, that this kind of disasters can do everything. So being aware as an individual responsibility, and also why not be aware of the we are all people and we all deserve help, and especially those who doesn't have the same resources than us. So in Valencia, of course, we still be in Europe. We still be a country which has a health economy, but there is lots of people that today doesn't have a place to sleep, doesn't have clothes, kids that didn't came back to the school, or there is so many people that are suffering near to us, and I think we have to move forward, of course, but we have to learn too that tomorrow can happen to us, and we really want that nobody forget us. So I think it's time to push and to keep today's Valencia, but tomorrow is another place or wherever, and then we should stay there for all those people who are especially, I'm also thinking about Gaza and, it's lots of conflicts around the world. It's not easy and we have to save ourselves and try to keep, calm. But the truth is that we cannot turn around and just because there is large amount of problems around the world that, it doesn't uh, have to, become us more now sensitive or just black out and say, no, there is nothing, no problems. I'm fine. My family is fine. And that's it. No, we need solidarity here. We have to practice
Yeah.
solidarity. So that's my reflection too. And thank you for this space and thank you for helping us to.
And I think another point there is every disaster is a long-term effort. It is, they stick around long after the headlines change, long after another disaster comes. And so we were talking about this yesterday, and the point is to do something, to not sit in despair and not do nothing and be overwhelmed. So whether it's a local organization, a neighbor helping neighbor, whatever it is, then everybody has the power to do something. So we just ask people to do one thing if they can, even if it's sharing on social media or reaching out to somebody and making
Or
connection.
buying a t-shirt, one
Buying
t-shirt.
a t-shirt, that's right. We'll include that link as well. But yeah, everybody has the power to do something. And so that's what matters. And one of the reasons we love having these conversations with people because this community is a bunch of doers. And so that's a good thing. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your efforts. And we will certainly continue the conversations offline, but thank you both for what you're doing. And we know there's a lot of people who couldn't be here today who are also still actively working on this issue. And so, yeah, we will continue. Our hearts will be with Valencia as we continue to rebuild. But thank you all for your time. We appreciate it so much. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for
Yeah,
giving us the
Thank
opportunity.
you.
yes,
Absolutely.
you
So
too.
See you all.
bye. Take care.
Bye.